I'm John Arana, and this is Karina San Martin.
Hey everybody, what's up?
Hey, by the way, just in case somebody doesn't know, this is my daughter.
Yes.
Karen and I, this is one of our daughters.
Yes.
We have three, and people say, why do you have three daughters? Because I didn't want four. So I stopped while I was ahead.
I only had three because I didn't want four. That's funny.
You did good. Hey,
Yeah.
actually, every one of our daughters has had boys.
Yeah, we all have. Yeah, Tiff has 4 boys.
And our youngest daughter has 4 boys.
Yeah, Tiff has 4 boys. Sheila has 1, and I have 1. So
Yeah.
we got
So the boys came.
the boys in your grandkids. The
Yeah.
boys took over because
Yes.
we only have
6 and
we only
3
have
girls.
3 girls. Yeah.
So
So
finally the boys came.
they took over.
Yeah, I love those guys. But anyhow,
They're
we're
fun.
here and we're sharing some helpful information with you about fasting.
Yes.
Intermittent fasting, full fasting,
Yeah.
All kinds of different fasting.
Right.
And so we covered some of that in the last episode. But today we want to talk to you a little bit, kind of encourage you about the health benefits
Yeah.
of fasting.
Yeah.
We talked about the spiritual benefits, which are, bringing something to God, surrendering something to God. We
Right.
talked about, sharpening your spiritual senses. We talked about, getting closer to
Yeah,
God.
kind of taking the moments that you're fasting to go deeper with your
Spiritually
connection with
speaking.
God and
Yeah.
giving it that spiritual purpose
Yeah.
for, whatever the reason is
Yeah.
why you're doing it for a spiritual reason. That's
Yeah,
super
because
important.
we're talking about
to make the connection.
how to be spiritually fit.
Right, yeah.
And so these are practices that
Yeah.
helps you to sharpen
Yes.
your spiritual soul.
And I was thinking how cool it is that all the spiritual disciplines that are biblical
Yeah.
that we've talked about, like prayer, meditation, reading, studying the Word,
Yeah.
fasting.
Fasting.
If you really think about it, there's always also a very physical benefit to it.
That's right.
Like even prayer,
Yeah.
like it causes you to mentally stop and
Oh, sure.
and cast your burdens,
Right.
Onto the Lord, and it creates a mental health also.
Yeah.
So does
Sure.
meditation
Yeah.
and reading and studying the Word.
Yeah.
It, I think also affects your mind,
Absolutely.
and so then
And
it
some
affects.
of that stuff's been measured
And then it affects how you live.
by brain waves.
Yeah.
They
Right.
say that when you meditate and you pray,
Yeah.
your brain waves calm down.
Yeah, so
it adds value.
I think it's cool how God set up these spiritual disciplines that it's almost like there's a byproduct of a physical benefit as well.
Exactly, yeah.
And I know we're talking about being spiritually fit, and I
Yeah.
think with the spiritual fitness, there are physical things that come right alongside of
absolutely,
that may
yeah.
not be necessarily like muscle,
Right.
muscle gain or whatever, but
Right.
it's other physical benefits that come,
Yeah.
and fasting has a lot of those physical benefits.
A lot of benefits, spiritual,
Which is cool.
and
Right,
physical.
exactly.
So we're going to go ahead and start mentioning some of
Yeah.
these. It promotes blood sugar control.
Yeah.
By reducing the insulin resistance.
Okay.
In other words, if you're challenged and you're fighting diabetes, obviously under the care of your doctor,
Sure.
begin to fast.
Yeah.
Because it will help your insulin control. It will actually help your blood sugar to get more normalized and to get more under control.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, we're not saying stop your medication.
No, we're not
not saying
doctors or
that.
anything like that.
Yeah,
Yeah,
we're
just
not doctors, medical doctors, but we're telling you that there is a great benefit concerning insulin resistance.
Right.
And
Yeah.
I think that's one of the reasons why some people begin to lose weight when
Yeah.
they're fasting.
Sure.
Because of how that gets under control and that gets leveled
Yeah.
in the body.
Yeah.
And I think that's an amazing benefit.
for sure.
Because a lot of times a lot of people need medication to do that.
Yeah,
And we don't have anything against medication.
No, of course
If
not.
you need it, take it. There's no shame in that.
No, yeah.
But I think these things, like fasting, will help with that.
Yeah. I think too, one thing that I remember one time, my husband and I, he watched some video or some documentary, something about eating and fasting and all of this. And so he was like, we need to do a 3-day
Do it.
juice cleanse.
We're gonna do
and
it.
I was like, what? You know, like, what do you like? And again, if you heard the last episode or you know me, you know that like, don't mess with my food. Don't mess with my meals. Don't mess with my snacks. Like, don't mess with my food. And so he was like, yeah, we need to do it because this. And I don't even remember, but I was just like, well, I mean, we have a juicer. I guess we can, you know. So we were like, okay, yeah, we're gonna do 3 days.
Let's do it.
We're gonna do this,
All
you know.
pumped, excited.
And so like we did the first day, and I was like dying. I was like dying, and I think he was even like, I have a headache, you know. and honestly, we both were like, we literally feel like our body is detoxing.
Oh,
like
yeah.
just detoxing.
I'm sure it
and,
was.
And I think like, you know, I don't know all the science behind all of
Right,
this, but
yeah.
I do know obviously what you put in your body matters.
Of course.
And so, but I think like with fasting, you know, if you remind yourself of these benefits, those first days, you know, the first like when it's
They're the
hard
hardest.
and
They're the
you
hardest
feel your
first
body
2
like
days.
fighting against it.
Yeah.
And I will say that I did not make it 3 days. I did not make it 3 days. I did 1 full day and like the morning of the next day. And I think like we texted each other, like he was at work and I was like, I'm out. I can't do it.
I can't
He
hang
was like,
in here.
it's not even been 2 days. You know, but I just thought of that. But I thought like, you know, all this stuff that happens,
Sure.
like you'll probably even feel your body like begin to react to
Adjusting.
the change.
Yeah, adjusting.
Which also kind of shows us like, you know, wow, what am I really putting in my body?
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying? So anyways, that just popped into my head because I was like,
really makes
you know,
think.
like when you start fasting,
Yeah.
you feel your body.
You learn a lot.
Yeah.
You learn
Yes,
a lot.
you do. Yeah.
So one of the obviously the benefit is that it decreases your blood sugar.
Yeah.
So listen, if you are already suffering from low blood sugar, then you definitely want to talk to your medical doctor before you start fasting. But if you have high blood sugar, then this is a great thing. Number 2, it promotes better health by fighting inflammation. I think, obviously, if you know a little bit about health, inflammation is what leads to diseases.
Yeah, right.
Inflammation, it's about your cells not being able to function properly and not function and do their job properly, so your body begins to break down the cells. But I'm not a doctor, but I've read about it, but fasting will help to reduce your inflammation. And I think is what you were talking about. Because your body is beginning to detox.
Yeah, your body begins to change.
And when your body begins to get detox, it gets healthier.
Yeah.
And so inflammation goes down.
Right.
But I think we feel all that.
Oh, for sure.
Because my body starts screaming out saying, where's my food? Where's my food? And, you know, you might even get a headache because you're not getting that sugar, you know, in your body. So. But anyhow, there's just a lot of physical benefits. So that's another one. The third one is it may enhance heart health by improving blood pressure, your triglycerides, and your cholesterol level. And you know what, Karina? Those are the 3 most powerful death-producing things in America today.
Yeah.
Because those 3 things is what causes all the cardiovascular disease.
Right. Yeah.
But when you fast, it will lower your triglycerides, it will improve your blood pressure, and it will begin to lower your cholesterol.
That's awesome. Yeah.
And I think that and again, if you take medication, just keep taking it.
Yeah.
You know, we are not telling you not to take your medicine. But what we are telling you is that when you fast, you have these biological benefits that are good for your health.
Yeah, no, exactly.
So what's the next one?
The next one says it can boost brain function and
Ooh, I need that one.
Prevent neurodegenerative disorders.
Oh, I gave you the hard one.
Yeah, you did. I think I nailed it.
You did. You got it, girl. You got it. So, but it improves your it improves your brain function.
Yeah. Yeah.
I could use some of that.
Yeah. You know, it's interesting to see how, like, when you do something that almost seems counterintuitive because
Right.
of how just our culture is, like, you know, our culture says, like, basically eat, and eat
Sure,
more.
enjoy,
You know, yeah,
indulge.
And, yeah, and you know, so it's interesting that when you're doing something that again seems counterintuitive,
Yeah.
that it can actually do the opposite of what just like eating more will do for you. You know what I'm saying? And I think that a lot of times we don't realize how the food that we're eating does really affect us in a negative way.
Yeah.
And if we're willing to try new things, whether it's fasting or just eating healthier or whatever, you know, I think that if you're willing to try it, especially if you don't have a discipline of it,
Sure.
You don't know the effect that it's going to have on you until you actually try it.
Exactly.
You know,
and I think that's one of the reasons why I feel this subject is important nowadays, because we can tell you this is a fact.
right?
These are health benefits
Yeah.
as a result of fasting. And I think the connection for me is that when my body feels better, you know, more energized, more alert, more, you know,
Healthy.
sharp
Right.
mentally, it's easier for me to grow in my spiritual life.
Oh, sure.
Because how hard is it to pray or to study the Bible when your body is just
Lethargic.
all beat up and
Yeah.
lethargic and yawning,
Right.
you know, and you just don't feel energy to do anything.
Right.
You
Yeah,
know?
yeah.
And so I think these health benefits are important because they are going to support your spiritual life.
That's good.
With some other other disciplines.
That's
So
really good.
the brain function improves because the nerve cells get synthesized. They get to work together and they get to create a greater effect in your body.
Good. That's
So
good.
I think again, I could definitely use some brain power boosting. And by the way, I
all
am
can.
fasting today.
Oh,
I'm fasting, yeah.
Nice.
So yeah, but I'm gonna break the fast later.
that's right.
With you.
We're going to brunch, lunch, whatever.
And of course, another benefit is that it promotes weight loss.
Yes, yeah.
And it boosts your metabolism.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
You know, you feel more
This is
energized, you
very
feel
true.
crispy, you
Yeah.
feel more alert, you know, you feel sharp
Yeah.
instead of just dragging.
Yeah, and that I definitely, this is one that I have seen when I do the intermittent fasting. You know, I definitely notice a difference in my metabolism. I notice a difference in my energy in the day, and when I do that, I do only black coffee or water.
Yes,
you know, I do.
Exactly.
And it again, I don't know all the science behind it, but I do know that it works and it helps.
And you can feel the difference.
Yeah, and you can feel the difference.
feel the difference.
And I do notice when I do the intermittent fasting, I do notice that I don't. You were talking about the inflammation, that I feel like I don't feel that as much, you know, like in certain parts of my body or whatever. And so this is definitely I definitely know that this one.
Yeah.
I feel that.
Oh yeah, I mean you could literally feel
Yeah.
the health returning to your body.
Yeah,
You know,
yeah.
especially if, you know, you've fallen off the wagon or something the night before, you know, or whatever, you know, and
Oh my
you're going
gosh.
like, man, I need to detox myself.
You know what? That's good. Yeah.
And you'll start literally
Yeah.
feeling a difference once you get through that first day.
Yeah.
You know.
And when you said that, that reminded me of like that. Again, that spiritual and that physical connection.
Yeah.
Like, you know, and there's definitely been times that I've said like, okay, this week I'm going to do the intermittent fasting,
Right,
you know,
right.
for this purpose or whatever. And
Yeah.
then maybe like the night before I might like sneak a cookie, like after like 8:30 or 9. And I'm like, I was supposed to stop at 8, you know, and
Right.
it's very easy to like the next day to just be like, well, I already messed up. So
Right.
just forget the whole
Yeah,
week.
forget
Or
it.
to be like, you know what? okay, whatever, that was yesterday,
Right.
but today's a new day.
Sure.
And I'm going to
Absolutely.
restart, you know,
Yeah.
and we can be that same way, like spiritually
Yeah.
as well. You know, like,
Exactly.
okay, maybe yesterday wasn't so great of a day, but
Yeah.
today's a new day and I
Yeah.
can get back on track. And
Yeah.
so I think that applies like with physical fasting, but also
Yeah.
with that like spiritual
Adding
aspect
the
of
spiritual dimension
being
to
like,
it.
it's a new day,
Yeah.
you know?
Yeah.
So it just made me think of that.
Yeah, and one of the things I love about God is that there's no condemnation in Him.
That's right. Yeah.
You know?
Right.
You know, if you say, I'm going to fast lunch,
Yeah.
and then your best friend invites you to lunch,
Yeah.
and he says he's going to pay for you, you have to. You have to go for that one. You know? You say,
I mean, yeah.
hey brother, you don't normally
Yeah.
treat me to lunch, so
Yeah.
I'm going.
Yeah.
So you go to lunch, and you might think like, oh man, I failed, you know, I messed up. There's no condemnation.
Right,
It's not like
yeah,
you're
that's a
breaking the
different-
law. It's not like,
right.
you know, you're committing a sin.
Right.
You know,
Yeah.
you just decided there was
Something changed.
something
Right.
more that you wanted to do than
Yeah.
keep your fast.
Right.
And guess what? Then get up and do it the next day.
Yeah, yeah, or fast dinner instead.
Or fast
you
dinner.
know? Yeah,
Either way,
that's a
it's
different situation.
No
for
condemnation.
sure.
But
yeah,
so part of the effects on the body
Mm-hmm.
in terms of fasting is the increase of growth hormone
Hmm.
secretion, and I think this is really important because I don't want to get too detailed into this, but
Yeah.
you know that your body regenerates every so many days.
yeah, right.
You know, and we get new skin every so many days.
Yeah.
You know, and so on and so forth. So your body needs to be healthy and strong to be able to make that continual metamorphosis happen. And I think part of fasting, it strengthens those growth hormones.
Right, yeah.
And it gives your body the ability to regenerate as it needs.
cool.
Like, you know, there's a lot of parts in the body that can regenerate. The liver can regenerate.
Yeah.
You know, obviously cells in your body can regenerate. And so, but again, sometimes our body doesn't have what it needs to be able to do those functions properly. And like we were saying, you were saying, a lot of it is what we eat.
Yeah, right. Yeah, yeah.
And I think fasting is a great spiritual discipline because it puts you in a place to become aware
right.
and exercise self-control. How much power food has over me, you know, and then you start realizing, oh man, I gotta exercise some self-control
Yeah,
here.
yeah.
And the lack of self-control then obviously leads to sickness and disease.
Yeah, yeah, and I think that applies not just physically.
Yeah.
You know, and that is one of the cool benefits that I see with fasting, both physically and spiritually.
Yeah.
Is that ability to help you strengthen your self-discipline and your decision making and your, you know, that whole processing, because just like it, when you do it in a physical sense,
Yeah.
I think that it also makes you stronger in
Yeah.
a spiritual aspect. Like when something is put before you, you
Yeah.
know, like a beautiful donut, but that it's not really a donut, it's something else, you know?
Right,
and it's like,
right.
well, what are you gonna do?
Right,
you know,
right.
that your spirit has become strengthened because your physical body has experienced,
Right.
okay, no, I'm not eating that right now.
Right,
You
right.
know, and I
Exactly.
think that connection between that and the spirit is really good.
And again, if you're listening or watching, we're not saying don't ever eat a donut, you know?
Oh no, I would never say that. Never say that. I would never tell anybody that advice ever in my whole life.
Isn't that crazy? I joke around because I say some of the most delicious things in this world are the worst ones for you.
Oh, man.
And like a donut, think like white flour, processed flour.
That's just
sugar
coated in sugar and then sprinkled with
fat,
sugar.
Lard, you know, whatever.
Yeah.
You know, and I tell people, man, I'm telling you, when I get to heaven, I think donuts are gonna be the health food of heaven. You know.
Oh my gosh. Maybe they'll be made of some different
Yeah,
ingredients.
maybe
Who knows?
some
you
amazing
know?
stuff out there. But anyhow, you know, another benefit is that fasting has been connected with longevity,
Oh, that's awesome.
extending your lifetime. You know, I mean, if you don't want to extend your lifetime, that's okay.
Yeah.
You know, don't worry about it.
Yeah.
But if you want to live a good long
Yeah.
life, fasting will promote that. And I think it was funny because I think about this story that Thomas, one of our son-in-laws,
Yeah, yeah.
told us about this guy at his job. You know, and work in California with movies and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And so he was telling one of his coworkers, because the coworker was like a chain smoker.
Oh,
You know.
okay.
And so he told the friend,
Yeah.
hey man, you really smoking a lot. You know, I mean it's. You know, you think about your health and, you know, and what it could do to
Yeah.
you and, you know, cut your life short or whatever. And
Yeah.
the guy looked at him and said, well, what makes you think I want to live long?
Oh no.
Yeah. He said, well, what makes you think I want to live long?
Wow.
And Thomas was like,
Oh.
whoa, okay, bro.
Okay.
It's all right.
Okay, then
We'll
you
leave-
just do you then.
We'll leave it there.
Yeah,
We'll
yeah.
leave it there. You know, so, but
That's nuts.
it's amazing how, you know, some people just,
Yeah.
they don't care.
Yeah,
You know?
it's true. It's true. And I think that this discipline, both spiritually and physically,
Yeah.
if it's something, you know, like a lot of these benefits I didn't even know about, you know, but I think just hearing the benefits,
Yeah.
you know, you have to decide if that's something that interests you.
Yeah,
you know,
that's
because
something you want.
I think when you have a deeper reason as to why you're doing
Yes,
something,
yes.
then that it almost becomes your personal
Yeah,
conviction
yeah.
as opposed to like, oh, I'm supposed to do this,
Yeah,
you know? And
yeah.
I think for me, that's always like the deeper key is when it becomes a personal conviction of mine.
Do you have a why?
Exactly. For
Do you
health
have a why?
reason, for spiritual reason,
and everything, yeah.
you know, and even connecting those two, I think that the benefit of fasting could just, open up so many great things, you know,
Yeah.
in our life.
Yeah, I mean, one of the last ones is it could help.
Mm-hmm.
It could help in preventing cancer.
Yeah, wow, that's
You
amazing.
know, and cancer is just rampant
yeah.
in this country. You know, as well as cardiovascular diseases and
Yeah.
things like that. So I think that there is a reason why God established fasting in the
yeah.
Bible.
Oh yeah, for sure.
And I think that, you know, those people didn't have all the
Research of,
pharmaceutical
yeah,
stuff that we have
what it
today.
would do.
We just take a pill, you know. But in
Yeah.
those
Oh,
days,
yeah,
it was like, you want health, then you need to fast.
Yeah.
You know? And I think
That's
that
cool.
it sharpens your mind, it sharpens your body, it gives you a lot of energy.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that if you have not, then I think you should consider fasting.
Yeah.
And people
Yeah.
say, well, where do I start? Well, start with something small.
Right.
You
Yeah.
know, start with skipping a meal, you know, something
Yeah.
like that, and
Yeah.
drink a lot of water while you're doing it, you know. But start with something small. Maybe if you're a dessert person, start by eliminating
that's
dessert
me.
for a few days, you know. But anyhow, take this information
Yeah.
and do something with
Yeah,
it.
I agree. Yeah.
Because it's going to sharpen your mind, your emotions,
Yes.
your body.
Yeah.
It's going to have so many spiritual effects as well and benefits. So
For sure.
I just want to encourage you to
Yeah.
practice fasting
Yeah.
because it's an amazing spiritual discipline that has some amazing amount of benefits.
It is. Yep.
So thank you for being with us one more time at The Drop. If you think this is helpful, share it with a friend.
Yes.
And just encourage people
Yeah.
to get healthier and
Yeah.
sharper spiritually.
Yeah, and maybe even invite a friend to do like a fast with you.
oh,
you know?
that would be fun.
And if that friend is also a Christian, maybe throw in like like, hey, let's fast breakfast and let's pray and let's
Yeah.
let's text
That's
each
a
other,
great
or
idea.
let's fast dessert
Yeah.
and then let's whatever, just do something together. That makes it kind of fun
That's
too.
fun. I like that. because
especially if
then
it's
you have a buddy and you have accountability.
especially if
and
it's
you
something
encourage each other.
new. Yeah.
I
So,
love that.
Yeah.
All right. Well, thank you for being at The Drop one more time. We'll see you on the next episode.